The real fear isn't AI, it's being forgotten. Then, why do so many of us accidentally make it worse? Let me tell you something that might sting a little. Your team isn't lying awake at night worried about how ChatGPT is going to take their job. They're not losing sleep over automation or algorithms or whatever the latest AI tool is. You know what they are worried about? Being invisible or being forgotten, becoming just another task on your dashboard. See, here's what nobody's talking about in all of these AI conversations. The biggest threat to our teams isn't technology, it's us disappearing behind it. It's the leader who used to walk that floor and now they just check the metrics. It's the manager who replaced the one-on-one conversations with automated updates. It's that boss out there who is excited about the efficiency that they forgot the people who are creating the output. So AI, it didn't make our people feel replaceable the way you're using it did. And if you're sitting there thinking, it's not me, stay with me, because today we're going to talk about what your team actually fears and why AI is exposing the leadership gaps that were already there and how you can use these tools without losing the one thing that makes us irreplaceable as a leader. It's the relationship. So let's get into it. Welcome everybody to the Leaders Leading Leaders podcast. I'm your host, John Espinosa, and if your goal is to build that high performance team, I'm going to use my 20 years of leadership experience to share what I've learned and the mistakes along the way. So let's get into the content today. One of the things that, is very, very important before we get into the content is to understand AI, it's a tool. It's a tool to put in our tool belts, an arsenal as a leadership. And today, I've got 3 big ideas for you. And I promise, if you apply even one of these, your team is going to feel it. So the first one here is the real fear. Why people don't fear AI, they fear really being unseen. The second one we're going to talk about is the leadership trap. Automating those tasks versus automating our care. And then the third one, the trust advantage. So why relationships still really drive performance and AI, it can't replicate it. So the first one we're going to talk about is that real fear. Here, the fear isn't about technology. It's about significance. And people, they can adapt to new tools. They've done it for decades. And when we look at it, what they can adapt to is the feeling like they don't matter. When leaders adopt AI without communication, teams, they fill the silence with all of those worst case assumptions. So what do we need to do? Because AI will amplify what already isn't there. If people feel disconnected, AI makes it worse. If your trust has already been thin, automation, it's going to confirm their fears. And AI didn't create the problem, it just revealed it. So the question that your team is really asking, not will AI take my job, but does my leader still see me? Not what does this tool do, but where do I fit now? Not how does this work, but do I still matter here? And this is where we as leaders, research tells us, Gallup data, the latest research in Gallup says only 23% of employees globally feel engaged at work. McKinsey research shows employees' top concern with AI, it's not job loss. It's that lack of communication from leadership about how AI will be used. So what's the practical application here? I challenge you, before your next team meeting, ask yourself, when was the last time that I acknowledged somebody's contribution? Not their output, but their contribution. When was the last time I made someone feel seen without a dashboard being involved? Listen, The real fear isn't AI, it's being forgotten. Then why do so many of us accidentally make it worse? That brings us to the second point here. Just a quick pause in our episode. This might be exactly what you need to hear. If you're currently leading a team, or you want to lead a team, and you're spending your days putting out fires, you're not failing, you're just stuck. Because when everything feels urgent, nothing actually improves. And over time, that starts to chip away at our confidence as a leader. I've led teams under pressure for years, and firefighting isn't about effort, it's about those missing leadership systems. When expectations are clear and ownership is real, our teams, they stop reacting and they start solving problems without us. So if you're ready to lead instead of react, click on the link below, book a call, check out our consulting programs. All right, back to the episode. It's the leadership trap. So there's a difference between efficiency and absence. Automating reports, scheduling, data entry, it's smart. Automating recognition, feedback, and check-ins, that's dangerous. So the line is simple. Tasks, they can be automated. Care cannot. Quit hiding behind the tools. That's the big trap here. Some of us use AI as a buffer. It feels productive, but it's avoidance. Sending AI-generated summaries instead of having that real conversation, guess what? That's a big trap. Checking metrics instead of checking in, that's a trap. And using busy with the rollout as an excuse to be less present, guess what? You guessed it, that's a trap too. So what your team notices, even if they don't say it, they notice when feedback becomes a form. They notice when you stop asking, hey, how are you? And you start asking, where's that report? They notice when your presence is replaced by the platforms. So here, I want to present a framework. This is called the automation audit. And today when I was trying to figure out, okay, John, there's three questions. There's three questions that I ask myself before really automating anything people-facing. The first one, does this task require empathy, nuance, or emotional intelligence? If the answer is yes, we keep it human. If the answer is no, hey, guess what? We consider automating. Question number 2, will automating reduce my direct contact with my team? If it's a yes, I would proceed with caution. If it's a no, you got a green light. And the third one, could this make someone feel like a number instead of a person? If your answer is a yes, please don't automate. If it's a no, automate freely. So here's what I want you to do this week. I want you to audit one thing. Look at where you've added automation in the last 6 months. Ask yourself, did I remove a task or did I remove myself? There's a big difference there. So now some of you might be thinking, okay, John, but I've got real pressure to perform, right? I don't have the time for all this relationship stuff. And I hear you. But here's what the data actually says about performance, and it might surprise you. So here's the trust advantage. We're going to talk about this last point. Trust is a performance multiplier. AI isn't. AI can increase our output. It cannot increase our discretionary effort. People don't go the extra mile for software. They go the extra mile for leaders who see them. High trust teams, they're going to outperform low trust teams by guess what? 50% in productivity according to Harvard Business Review. So what AI can scale versus what only leaders can scale is an important note. Data processing. AI can scale. Leaders, psychological safety. Task automation. AI can scale, but guess what? Belonging, that's the leaders. Information delivery. AI, trust, that's the leader's responsibility. Workflow efficiency. AI, the meaning, the why, That's a leader's responsibility. And the last one, content generation. AI, of course. Recognition that lands, that's our responsibility. So when we talk about the real return on investment of presence, remember retention. People don't leave companies. They leave leaders who stop showing up. Engagement. One meaningful conversation is going to outweigh 10 automated updates. And performance. When people feel like they're valued, they're going to bring more than the minimum. Research says, this is Paul Zach's neuroscience research, high-trust organizations, they're going to see a 74% less stress in the organization, 106% more energy at work, 50% higher productivity, and 76% more engagement. So here's your challenge. This week, have one conversation with a team member that AI could never have. Not about the tasks, not about deadlines. Make it about them. Make it about their growth. Make it about their concerns. Make it about their wins. Watch what will happen when you show up like that. I guarantee they're going to remember it. So let's bring this home. What's our responsibility in an AI world? Let's recap what we've covered. First, your team doesn't fear AI. They fear being forgotten. The silence around how you're using these tools, it's louder than the tools themselves. Second, there's a difference between automating tasks and automating our care. One creates efficiency, the other, it's going to create that distance. And third, relationships, they're still the real driver here. AI can scale our output, but only you can scale trust. And trust is what turns a group of people into a high-performing team. So here's what I want you to take away. AI can do a lot of things, but it cannot make someone feel like they matter. That's our job. And in a world where everything else gets automated, that job has never been more important. Efficiency means nothing if your people feel invisible. If this episode hit home for you, here's what I want you to do. 1, share this with a fellow leader who's navigating AI right now. They need to hear it. 2, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel and turn on those notifications. We're doing a full series this month on leading in the AI world without losing the human touch. And 3, drop a comment below. Tell me what's one way you're staying human in your leadership while using AI. I want to hear from you. Until next time, I believe in you. Go be great. Talk to everyone on the next episode. Bye-bye.